So this example of a survey is a little bit different, as we'll see down the line, because some of the clues or pieces of information are not as obvious to fill into your Venn diagram as some of the easier examples. So let's get started by translating the information from words into symbols. The first thing we see is that 15 families brought food, prizes, and crafts. So that would read that N of F intersect P intersect C is 15. That's food, prizes, and crafts. Next, we see that 25 families brought food and crafts. So that looks like N of F intersect C, and that's 25. Next, 42 families brought food, so N of F is equal to 42. We have 20 families brought prizes and food, so N of P intersect F is 20. Next, it says 6 families brought prizes and crafts, but not food. So what that looks like is P intersect C, that's prizes and crafts. But the way we indicate not food would say intersect F prime. F prime is the same thing as not food, and this is 6. Next, we have 4 families brought crafts. So we have N of C, but neither food nor prizes, which means that we've got intersect F prime and intersect P prime as well, and that's 4. Next, 10 families brought none of these 3 items. Well, none of these 3 items looks like C prime intersect F prime intersect P prime, and that's 10, which means that we're not in C, not in F, and not in P. That would be none of these items. And the last piece of information says that 18 families brought prizes, but not crafts. So again, that's going to mean we're in P, but we're not in C. So that's P intersect C prime, and that gives us 18. So now we're going to turn to our Venn diagram. And in this example, obviously the first thing we need to do is we need to fill in the symbols of what our different circles are. We have F, we have P, and we have C. So this example actually has 2 pieces of information that are easy to fill in right away. The first one, as we know, and what we're always supposed to look at, is the smallest region, which is the intersection of all 3 circles, F, P, and C. And that's the first clue, which is 15. So we're going to put our 15 in here. The second piece of information that's easy to fill in is the 10, this second to last piece, which is C prime intersect F prime intersect P prime, which means that it's in the universe, but not in any of those circles, which is exactly this area out here in the universe, but not in the circles. So that's going to be where we put our 10. So now let's go into our information. We have F intersect C is 25. So as we've said before, if we take a look at F intersect C, that's these 2 regions here together. And if it's supposed to be 25, well, we already have 15, which means this region here is going to be 10, because the 10 plus the 15 makes F intersect C 25. So now we can check that off. Now here's the thing. The next piece of information says that the number of elements in F is 42. But here's the problem. Here's F. F is made up of 4 regions. We only have 2 of them. So we don't know how the remainder is going to be split up between these 2 regions. So we need to skip that clue and we need to move on. Let's look at P intersect F. The number of elements in P intersect F is 20. So again, P intersect F is this area here made up of the 2 regions. We already have 15. So if there's 20 altogether, that leaves 5 for this region here. Now we can go back to the information about F, which is 42. So if 42 is this entire circle, we've used up 5 plus 15 plus 10, which is 30, which means that this region here has to be 12, making the entire circle here 42. Let's move on and look at the next set of information. We have P intersect C intersect F prime. So that means we're in P intersect C, which is here, but we're not in F. We're in F prime, which means we're only talking about this region here. This is the area that's in P and C, but that's outside of F, which means that this 6 is actually just this region on its own. It's in P and C, but it's not in F. And now for C intersect F prime intersect P prime, that means that we're in C, but we're not in F or P. Well, if we look at C here, the only part of C that's not in F or P is actually this region here, which means that the 4 goes in this region. Because again, that's the part of C that's in C, but that's outside of F and P. And now we're down to the last piece of information, which is P intersect C prime. So what we're looking at is everything that's in P, but that's not in C. So that is this area here. This is the stuff that's in P, but that's outside of C. And it's made up of 2 regions. So if we have 5 already, that means that we're left with 13 here, which gives us the 18 that we need for P intersect C prime. And now our Venn diagram is done. And at this point, we could answer any questions that we wanted to given this information.